trying the new Eclips, and he's going to take us through it, step by step.
Glad to be here. What we have is the Eclips. I don't know if most of you have seen this already. We have a cutter that's separated with the controller, and it is a cartridge-based device. We bring in the cartridge and we can see folders popping up. So you can see that it is hot swappable. We were able to remove, and it says please insert cartridge. Plugging it in, you see the folders. And what the actual feature we're going to be showing now is a cool paper saving device using a pinpoint laser beam that will show you your pre-cutting before you actually cut, so we save paper that way. So what we're going to do is I'm going to just call in a shape. You see the shape showing up here when I actually opened up that folder called flowers. We see that there's 3 options that we can go with. We're going to select this shape, and what I want to do is actually just cut out just the stem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop back over here because we actually have pieces. We don't want to cut out the whole shape. I only want to cut out just the stem. So I don't want to cut out the whole thing and then sit there with scissors. And I want to be able to be a little bit of freelance that I can make my own shape. So we're going to move over here and we're going to go to pieces. We go down to pieces, and you can now see that the artist actually individually did each piece. So I'm going to move over, and I need to see. I'm going to move over to here, and I'm going to call up just the stem. All right. So that's the size that that's the shape I'm going to cut, and the size and the quantity is written there. So I want to edit the size. I want about 5 inches, I think, is what I have here. So I'm going to go into my edit mode, and it says edit size or quantity. I go into edit size, and I either can slide this up and put in my size based on the red letters. I can use the 5-inch and hit OK. And my quantity is perfect. I'm going to leave that. So now I'm going to exit out of that. Now I can start cutting, but again, I think it's a little risky. I might cut over a pre-cut image, if you could see that there. So right now I'm going to hit this button here, which is the pre-cut preview, and a laser beam will pop out underneath, not pop out, it'll project onto the paper. So we'll see if this works. Now what you do is you need to pay attention to where it's actually going, and you can see clearly, usually if this paper is removed, you can actually see it crossing over a blank area. And because I'm over here, I couldn't see it, so cut.
It totally went over the flower.
Oh, so we know obviously we didn't ruin this piece of paper, so I can actually change the size, move it. Usually, like if we were cutting over here in this area and we had paper left over, I could try to move it over here and start using some of this area. Most of the time cutters eliminate this whole area because they look at it as a square. We can actually try to cut inside this, and I've done that in the past. So that's a pretty unique feature. I mean, we can keep playing with it because, again, that's all you do. There's actually 2 speeds on here, which is pretty fun. That's what actually helps you pinpoint your locations. So 1 speed is just holding down, pressing once. It's slow. And if I press twice, like a double click on a mouse, it moves nice and fast, which we all like to do because we are impatient people. So again, I go back faster over here, and we can maneuver. Now, what is really nice about the pieces also is most of the time on this type of a design, this is old die cutting that people used to just cut 1 image and they were done. Of course, we want to layer. We do multiple sheets. So again, that's the reason why pieces is very advantageous for the crafter, is that we will set up the green here. I want the leaves to be a little bit lighter, so I'll place my lime green here. I'll put my fuchsia because I want my flowers out of the fuchsia. I'll place that here. So I set up my color palette that I want to cut all my finished project in. And again, with the fast speeds, I can locate where I want to cut. If I use too small of a scrap, I use my laser beam to help me decide if I can use that piece. And then you just add it to the queue and press cut, and it will do multiple shapes, sizes, and
Tell them about how they can queue up multiple
queue
images.
up. Let's do that. Right now, you do see that I have one large flower and two small ones. So that means a quantity change. So since we don't have a fixed or hard switch or a roller or something like that, we actually have a digital input. We can change how many shapes we want cut in the queue. So for example, I want my first flower, which is the large one, I only want one, and I don't change my size because it will stay proportioned to this. So I'm going to add that to the queue. So this plus sign adds one quantity at this inches of the overall shape, but now I want two of those small ones. So what I'm going to do is I go one over to the smaller flower, and then I want to change my quantity, again going into the edit mode. I don't want to change my size, I want to change my quantity. I go into that, and again I could either use this or my keypad to put in a number. I can put 10 flowers in there if I want, but we know we only want to add one, so I'll hit that once. I hit OK to apply changes, and then now I add that to the queue. Oops, I got to get out of that edit mode. And now I want to add that to the queue. So again, what we see here is there's two quantity, this size. I'm going to go up to the queue to edit because, you know what, I really wanted 4 of those flowers. So let's go up to the queue. Right now, it's giving me a choice whether I can edit something. I do see that I'm at 2 now, so let's just go to the quantity. And I'm going to kick it up to 4. I hit OK. I exit out of my mode. So I have 4 on this flower. I'm going to move over, and now I only have 1. So again, I can set up a huge amount of, in my queue, multiple shapes to fill the whole page. I can go into a fill fit mode, and then it will tell me on my next shape how many I can add for that size sheet.